Do you want to know why I like Microsoft Excel? It's because I think it's excellent. I think it's really good to be able to excel at Microsoft Excel. It'll help you accelerate your learning. Yeah, puns. Glorious puns. Shall we get into it? Okay, so on Microsoft Excel we open it up and it looks like this. Whole bunch of little squares, all sorts of stuff going on up here. It looks fairly intimidating, but it's really not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read and work to this brief that I've been provided. Have a read through it as well. Maybe have a go after watching this video and see how you go. It should be nice and easy though with me showing you what to do. So first off, I'm going to make a title. To do that, what I might do is instead of just typing a title in the first square, I'm going to highlight a whole bunch of squares. Maybe up to T, let's say. And that's probably going to be a pretty good size, having read my brief. And I'm going to hit merge and center. What that does is it actually creates one big square as opposed to a whole bunch of little smaller ones. So that means that when I type in my title, and in this case Jonathan's snack consumption, it's in the center of one big cell, and from there I can make the title a little bit bigger, which is handy. And I'm going to make a secondary title as well, so I'm going to merge and center those because this is for his snacks in 2017. Then I might just make that a little bigger too. Not that that worked. Okay. So now, having a look at my brief, I can tell that I'm going to need some titles. I know that I'm going to be working with snack types, so what I might do is just write snack type, okay, with the intention of putting the types of snacks in these cells down here. So I know that I have a fair few types of snacks, so I'm just going to go ahead and write those down here. M and M's. Cheese sticks. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fast forward to when I've finished that, okay? Cool. So I've just finished typing and making my list of food. Now I have a bit of a problem. And if you're doing this alongside watching the video, you have a problem too. You'll see that some of the titles are actually too big for the squares. It doesn't look great, does it? So all we really need to do to fix this problem is we take our cursor and we go up here on the line between the A and the B, and you're going to see the cursor change into this little thing with two arrows. You left click and you just drag it out. And what that's doing is it's actually changing the width of our column. So now it all fits. It's awesome. Now, having a look through my brief, I'm sort of guessing that I'm going to need to put the dates, well, the months, along here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we start out with January, and then out to February, and I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward until I write those, okay? So I just finished typing out the months of the year along the top here next to snack type. So now I have the basic structure of my Excel spreadsheet. So now what I have to do, and this is the part that's going to take the most time, is I have to go through and import all the data now. So now I have to read through the data and I have to put in the numbers that correspond. So in January he ate 32 M&Ms along with 15 cheese sticks, 65 bags of chips, 45 pies. This is going to take a while, guys, so I'm just going to skip ahead to when I'm finished that, okay? Alright, so that took more time than I would have liked, but meh, it happens. Now, it's time to have a look at a couple of calculations. It's saying, the brief is saying, that I need to make a total of each snack eaten throughout the year. So for each of my snacks, I need to make a total of how many were consumed during the year. So I'm going to make a new little heading up here called total. Now I'm not going to sit here with a calculator and type all of these in individually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it the fast way. I'm going to go up to auto sum and I'm going to say, well, I want to know what the sum is. So I've just got to make sure that the right data is highlighted. I just want to know what the title is for the total is for M&Ms during the year. So I make sure that they're all in the little box from January to December and I can see it. I can see that all the right data is selected. Now I just press enter and it's done. Automatically I have my total. Now I could do that individually for each type of snack. Not going to do that, no. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my cursor and I'm going to, on the bottom right hand of my highlighted square, there's a little box here. I'm going to put my cursor on it until it changes. Left click and just drag down, okay? I'm going to drag all the way to the bottom here, all the way to walnuts. And I'm just going to let it go. And it automatically does that sum, that same calculation for each of my snack types. That's pretty awesome. And I can double check that it has done the correct calculation. So if I click on the total for Skittles, up here I can see that it equals the sum of B10 to M10. So B10, B10 to M10, M10. So yeah, that's the right numbers that I want. It's this whole line here, this whole row. Sussed. That was a bunch of maths that I did in a matter of seconds. I also need to make a total of the snacks consumed in each month. So my next instruction is to total these. Well, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to make a new title down here called total. And I'm I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go up to sum. You would think that would be right. It's got all of the types of snacks eaten over that month. But it's not, because you see I've left a space here on row 16. And it's actually trying to use that empty square as part of my equation. I don't want that. So I'm just going to re-highlight the cells that I want. So B4 to B15, and then I'm going to hit enter. And then it's the same deal as before. Okay? I'm just going to click on the little box in the right hand corner of the cell and drag across to December. Then I might just check one randomly, let's say November, L4 to L15. Yeah, perfect. All good. Okay, what's next on my brief? They're wanting me to make a forecast on how many snacks Jonathan could eat in 2018 if he reduced his snack intake by 15%. Sounds pretty tricky, right? Well, first what I might do is I might make the column heading. So we're going to call that 2018 forecast. Now I've got to think, how am I going to do it? Well, it's not that hard, to be honest. I want to reduce by 15%. So that means that I'm going to be eating 85%, or well, Jonathan's going to be eating 85% of what he ate this year. And I know that another way of saying 85% is 0.85. So what I might do is I might, in the cell, press equals, not plus, equals, and I'm going to click on the total of snacks eaten, and then I'm going to go Shift 8. That's going to give you this little star. In Microsoft Excel, that is also times, okay? Times 0.85. That's the same as saying 85%, or a reduction of 15%. Because if 1 is 100%, taking 15% away from that will give us 0.85. And then we just hit enter. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is the same as before. Just drag it down so it automatically does it for each snack. Now I'm not overly happy with these answers at the moment, because you see there's a lot of decimal points, and let's be honest, no one is going to eat 530.4 Skittles. No one eats 0.4 of a Skittle. So what I can do is I can actually highlight, and I can right click, and I can go Format Cells. Now this is where it's quite cool. This is where you can say, well, this is what kind of number I want in my cell. I want it to be a general number, but I don't want to use decimal places. I want it to round to the nearest whole number. And then you click OK. And so now my numbers are looking a lot nicer, because no one would eat 0.4 of a Skittle. I mean, you could, I guess, but what's the point of that? Now, what's next on my brief? They want me to show the total difference between 2017 and the projected 2018. Okay, so what they want to know is what is the difference between this number of snacks eaten and this number of snacks next year if they reduced it by 15%. So what I might do is I might make a new column called difference. And how I'm going to do this is I'm just going to go ahead, because the difference between this and this I'm guessing is going to be a subtraction. So we go equals, we pick our numbers that we want to take this total and we want to go minus this total equals 226. That wasn't hard, that was just minusing one from the other. Then again we hit the black square, drag it down for everything else. So most of the maths is automatic, which is really handy. This could be tricky. On the brief it says, I want you to show how many calories he consumes each year for each snack. Well, that's quite intense, isn't it? It looks as if I needed to put the calories in, right? Which I've forgotten to do. I guess what I can do is, if I want the calories, let's say I want them in between the total and 2018 forecast, I can just right click and insert. Well, I don't want it there, I want it here. Insert. That's how you make a new column wherever you want. It's just right click and insert. Easy. So we're going to go calories. And I'm just going to go ahead and quickly write down how many, well, type in the calories for each type of food as per the brief. So 559, 6, 56, 4, 95, 2, 286, 233, 26. Okay, so I want to have a look at the total calories that he's eaten for each snack. And then we're just going to go bang. Okay, so I'll type my title. Average calories per month. Again, this is going to be at times. So what I'm going to do for this part is they want average calories for each month. That's easy. I'm just going to go equals and I'm going to hit the calories and then I'm just going to go divided by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. Enter, and that's going to give me the average calories consumed per month for each snack. Then drag that down so it does the same for everything. I want you to tell me the average monthly reduction in calories that is projected in 2018. Okay, that shouldn't be too hard. Calories reduction per month is we need to equals brackets 3, well, yep, that cell, calories times the 2018 forecast. We're going to close our brackets, and now this is per month, so we're going to divide that by 12 equals 320. Cool, that's nice and easy. But that's not what the question was asking. It was asking for the monthly reduction. So it wants the difference between this number and this number. So difference in calories forecast. It helps if I spell forecast correctly. Now, all we want to do is go average calories minus forecast average calories equals, bang. Now it looks as if there's only one more calculation that they want in the brief, and that is the snack that was eaten the most in any given month. So what they're looking for is a maximum. They want to know which of these numbers is the biggest from January to December. Now, I could just go through it looking, or I go up to my sum and I go max, and I just highlight which numbers I want the maximum number to be found in, and hit enter, and it turns out to be 1000. In December of 2017, Jonathan ate 1000 M&Ms. Awesome. Good on him. Okay, so now that is essentially my spreadsheet done. Now all I have to do is make it look pretty. Easy. So what we're going to go ahead and do is I might add some nice lines here. So what I'll do is I will go here. This is where you can add some lines, some bottom borders. And I just pick one that I like. I quite like this top and double bottom border. Do that for my totals. I might add a line up on the right side of my snack types just to differentiate it from my data a little bit. So I might add a right border there. I might add a bottom border for all of these up the top here. Where's my bottom border? There it is. I also might go ahead and bold these titles, these column titles up here, just so they stick out a little bit. It's also looking a little bit squished, some of these. You can see September here is cut off, so I'm just going to give my columns enough space so that you can see everything in it. Cool. And that's it. So you've got a whole bunch of different things to play with, but essentially for now, you're just going to be reading briefs and doing sums and different calculations, okay? Now, for each brief, you're going to need to just make it look nice, okay? So do use underlining, use bold, use different font sizes and font types, okay? Make it look nice. Use your center option, okay? So, center your text. Do what you can to make it look good. Yeah, I hope that helps, guys. Have fun.